And I've had so many rainbows in my clouds. I had a lot of clouds, but I have had so many rainbows. And one of the things I do when I step up on a stage, when I stand up to translate, when I go to teach.
Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are a current subscriber, pick up yourself. I love you. Thank you for subscribing. If you are seeing my face for the first time, hi, my name is Chantel T. I'm currently a software quality engineer living in the Bay Area, California. And outside of work, I'm very passionate about personal development, self-improvement, intentional living, and becoming the best version of yourself. So if you're going on that journey, or if that resonates with you at all, feel free to join the family. Feel free to check out some other videos. And yeah, welcome. I'm happy to have you. We're building a family over here. Yeah, as you can see by the title, today is episode 3 of my series called Reflect and Reset Sundays, where I sit with you and we go over the past week, discussing some of our goals and setting goals and seeing where we went wrong, seeing what we did well, where we can improve, and so on and so forth, with the intention of using this information to reset for the following weeks to achieve our goals, ultimately allowing us to reach all our goals by December 2025 or before, if possible. So if you're interested in that, definitely continue watching. While I'm talking about these things, I do want you to pause. If this category applies to you, pause and reflect on your previous week and see where you were able to implement certain things, and if you were not able to accomplish those goals, reflect and look back as to why you weren't able to accomplish those goals and set them in your calendar for the next coming week, as I will do for this coming week. Alright, so for this video I do want to change things up a bit. So instead of going over the categories, I do want to start with the days. So I want to go over each day this week where I was able to accomplish goals, what goals I set for those days, and what I was able to accomplish. So let's start with Monday, and let's start with finances. Same category, just days specific instead of the entire week. So last week Monday, I was able to spend $26 on subscription and $60 on groceries, almost $80 on shopping. That was just between Sunday and Monday. So as it relates to personal development, I woke up with goals of eating healthy that day, going to the gym, and consuming my audiobook. So I was able to wake up early. However, I did not get to the gym until around 7:45 a.m., which did affect the time that I would have spent to work out. So I was supposed to get to the gym by 7:30 and leave by 8:30. So that time, my workout time was reduced, and I was not able to do all the workouts that I had planned for that day. So that was a problem that I had that day as it relates to working out. I then got home, I immediately had a meeting, so I did not get time to quickly get ready properly for my meetings. So I also, that was a downside. I did not spend as much time listening to my audiobook as I typically would, because I did not spend enough time in the gym. No pressure there as it relates to audiobooks. I just do them because they help with my momentum, but I'm not very strict on myself with that. But that's my reflection from Monday. And another goal that I had as it relates to career and social was, one, I had to be productive at work that Monday. To be honest, I was not as productive as I would want, but nevertheless I did get my job done, I did get work done. For growth or career, I also wanted to do a course, and for the very first time I actually did the course. I spent 1 hour Monday evening spending time doing the course that I mentioned that I wanted to do. And so, to be honest, I was able to accomplish most of the goals that I did set out for myself that day. Still, I was able to be as productive as I could. And in the night, I did wrap up with reading my book before I go to bed.
Hello, this is Monday Chantel. It is currently 9:26. I'm just finished wrapping up the day, and I just wanted to give you guys a review or a reflection of the current day. Today I started with 3 main things to accomplish. One was go to the gym, and I was able to do that. I actually got up, went to the gym. And the other was be productive at work. And last but not least, the third was to actually start the course that I was supposed to do since January. I've started a couple courses, but I've confirmed that this is the one that I want to complete. So I've actually started this one and I'm 25% through. So if every week I do 50% of the course, I should be finished by the end of next week. Fingers crossed I don't get distracted. But yeah, those are the things I was able to accomplish today.
And that's how I pretty much ended the day. Oh, another thing that went really well for me on Monday was 1 hour after work and 1 hour before I started my course, I went for a walk. I did this a lot the past week. It was so refreshing. I just left home just to kind of like wind down the day. I left my phone. The only thing I brought was my watch to record my steps, and I brought a notepad and pen, and I walked for maybe like 45 minutes around my scheme. I pretty much just wrote what I accomplished that day, what I needed to accomplish. I wrote down all the topics that I had on my head. So I spoke up to myself about the book that I was reading. I spoke about YouTube, right? And I just spoke about life, and I went through these points and I discussed them with myself. And it was so nice to just wind the day down, and it allowed me to get all of that out of my head for the next activity that I had, which was to do my course. So I think that definitely helped, like having that transition in between work and the course made it a lot easier, to be honest. So I continued doing that throughout the week as well. But yeah, that is Monday. I think Monday was chef kiss. So yeah, let's move on to Tuesday. Alright, so let's start with Tuesday with finances. Did I check my Tuesday? Alright, so on Tuesday I was able to spend $30 something on shopping. I had to drop my car off, so I did purchase Uber. That was pretty much it I did on Tuesday. Still not a lot compared to my previous weeks, but it was, you know, it's just like you kind of just have to spend oh my god, that's sad. But yeah, that was my spending for Tuesday. Next we'll move on to personal development. That day I did not have any plans of like working notes or reading or anything, so I didn't really accomplish a lot within personal development area. As it relates to spiritual, I woke up early. I did spend a few minutes, you know, studying my Bible, maybe like 45 minutes or so, reading my Bible and meditating and praying. So I was able to get that accomplished as it relates to my spiritual improvements. Then I jumped into work, which I was able to be productive because, as I mentioned the previous day, I did use the walk to de-stress, to wind down, and to plan, like to reflect on the day, and that was very helpful. So the third item that I wanted to accomplish Tuesday was to be productive in my course that I've started. So this course is to allow me to enhance my career and to grow further in my field. So I started this course the previous day for the first time, Monday of that week, and then I continued Tuesday of that week, and I was able to complete 25% of the course by the end of the Tuesday. So I feel pretty good about my accomplishments in that, and I do have plans to do it this coming week as well. So that went well. So I did Tuesday. I also went for a walk Tuesday as well, so that allowed me to get closer towards my personal development. I just went for a walk and did the same thing where I wrote notes and I spoke about what was in my head and put it out on the paper. So I think that went pretty well on Tuesday. Is there anything that I would improve on Tuesday? No, I think Tuesday was really a good day. Like it was a pretty good day in terms of like my goals and how I was able to accomplish them. And so let's move on to Wednesday. So Wednesday I was supposed to accomplish 3 major things. One, which was to go to Toastmasters. I think it was 4. 1, go to the gym, Toastmasters, be productive at work, and start reviewing and planning for my YouTube video the following week. So I went for a walk later in the evening, and that's when I realized that I did not have my car at all. So I kind of, you know, spent that couple hours, that 1 hour that I would have spent at the gym, out for a jog, and which, you know, it worked out pretty well for me. And I did come back home and do some workout in my backyard as well. Not as much as I would have done in the gym, especially as it relates to weights, but I did try, and I think that counts towards like my effort to show that, you know, even if I was not able to make it to the gym, the system that I'm setting up is life proof, because when life happens I was still able to get that workout in. So I'm proud of myself for accomplishing that. So
I need my sexy back. I'll do anything for my sexy back. I need a sexy back. So I'm reading the book. Breaking the Habits of Being Yourself. The book Breaking the Habits of Being Yourself. This book, Have a Pocket Full of Money, both emphasizes how you are able to change your reality or change your world by your thought. And they use a bunch of different evidence or experiments to prove this, right? But they come from a very scientific perspective. And Think and Grow Rich, it doesn't talk about it from a more scientific perspective, but it does talk about it as well. And I think from my understanding and from the knowledge of believing in God, like it has made me, like I've been thinking on this all week of how God created us as human. He created everything, every particle, every energy, every electron, every proton, like every single thing going down, like even light, how light curves, light years, everything. And He created us, like He gave us commandments to follow because we have a conscience and we have a mind to be able to follow those. And He gave us free will, the ability to do what this commandment tell us to do or to not. And I believe He also gave the universe commandments as well. Like He gave the air and the trees and the energy and every single thing. He gave them commandments as well and tell them behave this way. And that's why we have certain laws. We have gravitational pull, gravitational force, all these laws of attraction, all the laws that every physicist has been able to find and identify. Like God gave those things, those commandments, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I was able to accomplish my goal. Then what else did I say? I was not able to attend the Toastmasters event because they do not have it on the second Wednesday of the month. So that was a bit disappointing. I was about to leave out. I was looking for the location. Then I realized that they don't meet on the second Wednesday. They meet every other Wednesday except the second Wednesday of the month. So I had to reschedule for this coming Wednesday, which I'm super excited about. This is the area that I have not touched on, that I've been, slowly moving closer towards getting that accomplished. But yeah, I was about to head to the Toastmasters, and I went on the website to pull up their address. And when I read carefully, I realized that they don't meet the second Wednesday of the month, and today is the second Wednesday of the month. They only meet the first, the third, the fourth, and if the month has a fifth Wednesday, then they meet on the fifth Wednesday. But I didn't know that, so I don't need to go today. So this it's not my fault. This kind of affects my ability to accomplish that goal, but it's fine. So, but I'll go next week for sure, and I'll go in person for sure. So yeah. For Wednesday, I was able to be productive at work as well, and I did make time to plan my YouTube and content as well. So I think I was able to be relatively productive Wednesday despite not having access to the gym.
Yes.
But yeah, moving on to Thursday. Thursday was a holiday for me. I did not go to work that day, and usually I would start the day by reading my Bible and getting ready for work and going into the office. But I didn't have work, so I didn't even read my Bible, to be honest, that morning, which is shame on me. But I did woke up, I did jump into the plans that I had for my content creation. I went to analyze my videos, how they were performing, the 2 videos that I had, by the way. I looked into some different accounts, planned a couple of videos for the future, mostly content stuff. In the evening, I did spend a few minutes reading my Bible, which was a goal that I wanted to accomplish that day. And then later in the night, I went out with my friends for Smash City, where we, participated in like smashing and anger, and letting out our anger, and just, enjoying each other's company. So I think that was really nice. And I got home, I was too tired to even read that night. I just went to bed. All in all, even though I was not able to accomplish much that day as it relates to all the different categories that I had for myself, it was such a productive day, and I was able to spend time with my friends. So that was fun and enjoyable, and I really enjoyed it. Alright, so last but not least was Friday. Honestly, I may have not had any goals for Friday. I think Friday I was also very goalless because I believed I moved a lot of my goals to Saturday, which includes working out or going to the gym, going over my budget, planning and recording content for YouTube, cleaning. these are all the goals that I put off from Friday. Friday was, you know, my rest day in a sense. I did read in the night, but I didn't really do much Friday as it relates to attaining my goals. And on Saturday, that's what I put off for Saturday. However, Saturday I did remember that I had a church event, so I had to postpone all these events that I had for Saturday to attend my church event. By the time I got home, I had to just upload my YouTube video, and I was not able to get much done on Saturday as well. So Saturday was kind of, you know, not as productive. Friday was also not very productive. And so Sunday I had to do all these that I mentioned, and along with recording and preparing for the week. So Sunday was pretty hectic for me because I also had church. I also had to go over my budget, order meals for them to be delivered, cook for the week, clean. It was a lot that I had to do Sunday that I was not able to record my video, unfortunately. So honestly, slacking off on those days created a momentum that got me less and less productive. I should not have put off my work for Thursday and Friday to Saturday and relied on Saturday to accomplish those things, because Saturday, you know, something ended up happening where I had to attend a church event, and then everything had to roll over to Sunday, and it messed with my plans. So in hindsight, reflecting on the entire week, I've learned that if I tell myself and I put it in my calendar to get it done today, the best time to get it done is that time, because it will roll over and affect everything else and snowball into this chaos that I'm trying my very best to avoid. So I do want to give space for rest days, such as Friday, especially Friday after work. I don't want to do anything related to improving myself at all. I just want to be a slug. But it's true. But so Friday afternoon to evening is my rest day, and apart from work, that is. So alright, let's give a recap of this week, including the different categories. So finances, I was able to spend a lot less this week than I usually did. I was able to spend $166 on shopping, including groceries, $42 on subscription, $89 on remittances. I paid some money, a big chunk, almost 30% of what I have left in credit card debt I was able to pay off this week. So that was a big milestone of mine as well. And I also started contributing towards the investment accounts that I opened up a few weeks ago. So I think financially this week was very, very productive, and I'm very grateful that I was able to make those steps towards my financial goals with a contribution of one, reading this book. So this is a very, very, very beginner-friendly self-help personal finance book. I have not reached far in the book. I'm almost halfway through the book, to be honest. But it does create this sense of momentum, even if you're a beginner, even if you're not a beginner. Reading this book kind of pushes you to reflect on your finances. So I wouldn't suggest reading it as like your first self-help book, but it definitely, if you are familiar with self-help books, it definitely is one to add. If you're currently struggling with the beginner phase of getting your finances together, I would definitely suggest reading it. It did go over a few topics that I was very familiar with, such as savings account, investments account. It did teach me a lot about credit card and like what credit cards would be helpful to get, especially as it relates to like travel benefits and travel credit card. But yeah, I can give you a recap of this book when I'm finished, and I'll go in details about it. But yeah, that covers the finance review for this week. I do want to do the same next week. I want to continue saving, continue investing, continue reducing my expenses. I do have a lot of financial goals that I need to accomplish within the next couple of months, so this momentum is creating a space for me to actually get these things done. So I'm super, super grateful. Let's move on to physical goals. This week I was not able to go to the gym more than once because of not having my car, but I was able to walk multiple times this week. I walked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I went for a jog Wednesday. I went for a jog Friday, I believe, and Saturday. So I was able to not just stay in the house cooped up, but I was able to go out and jog around, even directions, even like roads that I have not tried before. So that was really, really nice. And not having to go to the gym kind of opened that space for me to explore different means of working out. So that was really good. Let's move on to mental. Usually when I do Bible study, prayer meeting, doing my own Bible study, I do pray. So I feel like this does definitely contributes towards mental health, in my own opinion. And I also read and I do listen to audiobooks, which also contribute towards just for mental health. For me personally, that just seems like growing mentally, expanding your mind, as well as to improve the health of your mind, which is like reducing stress and anything that reduces pressure on your head, on your mind. So which is like walking does that for me, reading does that for me, listening to audiobooks does that for me, learning something does that for me, praying really does that for me. Meditating is something that probably can practice as well. For me, it kind of goes hand in hand in prayer. When I do pray, I not sit like I'm meditating, but I do like say the word. But anyways, yeah, so those things definitely help for me, and I was able to incorporate a few of these things into my week. So I think that went really well. I can say that where would I improve? I can say this is going very well for me, so I think that's fair and that's fine, and that's a safe place to be to me. Spiritual. This week I was able to attend my personal Bible study twice, which was a goal for me, and I was able to attend my church Bible study. Also was pretty active in the church event that we had on Saturday, and I did attend church last Sunday as well. So I feel like this week I was also able to maintain consistency in the spiritual aspect of my personal growth, and for me that is very important. So as it relates to social/hobbies, this week I actually went home with my friends. We had an event on last week Thursday, and I think that was pretty helpful. It did contribute towards de-stressing, enjoyment, and having fun with my friends. So I do want to incorporate at least 1 or 2 of that per week. Not me personally, us as a group collective, we have decided that that's something that we want to try. May not be that way every week, but we do want to do something fun and enjoyable each week, even if it's solo or it's together as a group. So that also goes in with my hobbies that I discussed that I was potentially interested in. If you have not seen that video, feel free to watch it. It was pretty insightful in how I share my goals, and I do want you to also set your goals if you don't already have any. So definitely check out that video. As it relates to career, I was relatively inconsistently productive this week, this previous week, and I do think I can learn a few more productivity hacks or tools to be a lot more productive, especially in terms of time management, I think. But yeah, you know what, I think I might need to look into that. I don't have any hacks or tools to increase my productivity. I was hoping that as time progressed, just my knowledge expanding would be enough to allow me to be productive. Turns out that might not be the case, because with the new venture that every company is going into, which is AI, you learn stuff every single day, so you're constantly learning, and you're learning and you're not, it does not, yeah, I need to sit and think about that. But yeah, that's for career for me. I also was able to do my course, which was a big improvement it was a big step towards my goal for the end of this year. So I'm really excited. Also, I did purchase 2 books that would help me to get even closer towards that knowledge that I'm trying to learn to enhance my career. So I'm planning on reading those books as well, and as time progresses, get better and better in this area that I'm potentially interested in. Appearance and brand. This week I did absolutely nothing. I'm still not even aware of the goals that I could set in this area, so as a matter of fact, I'm doing it right now. I'm going to try again to put it back in my calendar for this coming week. I do want to put this in my calendar for this coming week, just to make time to think about it and how I want to present myself, how can I improve my appearance or my thumbnails and image online, and how I present to everybody. Something that I still do need to consider and work towards, but nevertheless, it's something that I'm aware of, and if not this week, if not the coming week, at some point I have to get tired of coming to you and telling you that I did not do anything. So I would have to eventually work on that, but it's a journey. Still have not made any progress there, but we're working towards it. There are also small things that I'm already doing that enhances or allows my appearance to be consistent, and I will continue doing those things, such as skincare, hair care, taking care of my nails even though they need to get done, But stuff like that already allows me to have a consistent appearance. But I do want to enhance my appearance, so as time progresses, I'll research that, look into that, especially as it relates to like clothing, and I'll go from there. And last but not least is content. This week I made a lot of mistakes with my content journey, and you know, it was a bit frustrating. I firstly did not record the second video very well, so I had to re-record it during the week, or re-record parts of it during the week, and that sucked because it affected, you know, my confidence or my ability to make this YouTube journey seem flawless. I also did not work on my thumbnails. I realized that it's better to work on these things spread out in the week instead of rushing and trying to put everything together on Saturday night, which was kind of what happened to me Saturday. But this is a journey. This is something that I'm learning each week, step by step, and trying to make small steps to improve them. This week, one of the major things that I was able to work on was getting that course started. So I think that was a big improvement for me. What I have noticed as well, it's currently 4 weeks that I've been doing this for, and every week I've been able to incorporate something from one of these sections bigger and bigger. So for example, the first week I was able to incorporate working out when I'm going to go to the gym, and then I consistently did that throughout the entire process. So I've been able to learn a lot about myself and about this journey in each area week by week, and each week I was able to increase in one specific area. So this coming week, the area that I do want to improve on is my YouTube journey. Luckily for me, everything that I've learned in the previous week, I've been able to roll over to the next week, and I think that's even more impressive than anything else, than learning anything new. So this is a journey, this is a momentum. I do want to do a video about the things that I've learned on this 4-week journey. So if you're interested in seeing that, definitely look forward to that video. But yeah, I'm super excited to share this journey with you, and I really hope that you're also making the time to plan your goals, implementing what you can piece by piece in every week, and allowing those implementations to roll over each week by reflecting and resetting those goals every week. So thank you so much. Once again, my name is Chantel T. Feel free to comment down below. I really do want to know some of the goals that you have for yourself in these areas, and goals that you're able to accomplish. Let me know. I'm excited. I don't want to feel like I'm going on this journey by myself. So please feel free to share at least 1 or 2 goals that you have for yourself that you'd like to share to me and anybody else that is interested in growing in those areas as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the video, and look forward to the next week video. I'll see you soon. Bye.